Good afternoon, guys, and happy, what's today? Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Oh my, I am tired. I woke up at like 2 o'clock today, I think. I was up originally at like noon, and I was like, oh, this isn't like that bad. Then I ended up falling back asleep and woke up at 2 o'clock because I was up until 3 or, no, more like 4 o'clock, and no, I think I stayed up even later than that. I was up until like 6 o'clock in the morning last night because I was doing that stinging Ancestry stuff, and not like the Ancestry.com because we don't actually have a membership to do that, which, okay guys, I thought, well, like, wasn't that expensive. I was like, oh, it's like $60 or something like that for like, I think it's a full like 6 months, right? I was like, oh, that isn't that bad, but that only gives you access to like just the US documents. And I was like, how many families and people that have relatives came from a different country? Like, that's the whole point of figuring out and tracing it back. So you have to pay more money if you want to get like the international version where you can like track from anywhere around the world. And so I don't even know, I think that was like $100 for 6 months, which I was like, maybe it's not that bad, because I was thinking about putting it on my Christmas list, like, of things that I wanted, because I was like, that's kind of something fun and like, you know, okay, because again, I thought it was like $60, so I was like, that's not that bad. And so that's why I was gonna put it on my Christmas list. So I was like, $60, and you know, I can do it for at least 6 months or whatever, like not even a year. But then I was like, well, what if I want to actually get like do it for the whole, you know, the international version is like $100 or whatever. Then if you want the international and the US version and you want access to like a couple of their other sites too, it's like $200 just for 6 months. I was like, okay, that's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, my mom has a bunch of friends though that have like Ancestry and stuff like that, so I was like, well, you know what, we can just ask them to look up stuff for us. So yeah, but I thought that would be like really fun, and now I'm like, I'll just stick to kind of trying to look stuff up on the internet, because my dad had tried like the 14-day free trial or whatever of Ancestry, I think, or one of those ones. And Dad had found a census record from 1940, which I looked it up, and the 1940 census was actually like, not the actual physical document. You can still look up like you can still like get the information without actually seeing the physical document. Like, they still have like archives and stuff like that. My dad had done that, and because he was like, oh, I really want to like figure out some of my ancestor stuff, so that's what we did today. We didn't do it for that long because my dad's side of the family was like complete dead end. We were able to figure out, I guess, what would be my great-great-grandfather slightly. Now it's like kind of a speculation because I was a little bit sketchy on it. So we at least know for sure my great-great-grandmother, and we assume her husband. We know for sure that I think it was her. Yeah. She came over from Poland, but we assume that the great-great-grandfather also came over from Poland. So we figure out some of that. Like, my dad, like, the thing was too, my mom had like a lot of records and things like that, and just stuff that we could use to like get ourselves going right. My dad had like absolutely nothing other than this one like 1940 census or whatever. So we looked that up, and like I said, we were able to track that pretty far back. Now, from the census, we were able to figure out like her, and then she had 2 sons with what would be my great-grandfather, and he died like kind of young, and then she ended up remarrying and had 3 more sons, and then by 1940 she was like 60 years old. She was widowed again. So she had 5 sons in total, and 2 of them were priests. So when there's like priests on your side of the family, the the lineage is done there, because yeah, they don't reproduce. So we had no other family that we could date back on like there or anything like that, or continue it further, I guess, from them. And then we ended up finding out about like my dad obviously knew his dad, and he knew some of his uncle, but I think he said like his uncle died young too. and that, like, my dad didn't even know his dad's, like, birth date or anything like that. So again, guys, I was kind of going into this whole thing blind, and from the census, we were able to figure out that my grandpa, he was actually 1 year old during that 1940 census. So we figured out that he would have been born, like, I think 1939 or 1938 or something like that. And so anyways, we're able to figure out all that stuff out. We were able to figure out the majority of where most of the family is born. I said that again. My dad said that earlier. I said it too. And now I said it again. They all were buried, not born, in this same cemetery for the most part. So we just had to do like a little searching and stuff like that. And we were able to find it because, like, my dad's whole side of the family is, like, Catholic. So they're all buried in, like, a Catholic cemetery. And like I said, the 2 of the uncles are priests. And then my dad was saying that, like, the 2 of his uncles he knows are priests. And then on my grandma's side of the family, like, I think 3 of her sisters are nuns. A lot of the family is, like, either priests or nuns and stuff like that. So, that, we didn't do, like, her side of the family. But my dad was trying to figure out, he wanted to figure out, like, where we came from in Poland, and we couldn't really figure anything of that out. Like I said, I had like a rough estimate of what the guy's name was, probably, but it could have been shortened for something, and 2, we didn't have any dates for him at all. Like, to find, like I said, the guy that came over here would have been difficult. And then his wife, the one that I said was listed on that 1960 census, or 1940 census, whatever it was, that she was, what's it called, that we had her name and we had her married name. So we were able to find like a little bit of information about her, but we didn't have her maiden name, which is what she would have most likely had when she came over. Even trying to look up like our last name that she might have had if she had gotten married there to, like I said, the first husband, then she would have like came over with that name, but we still couldn't find like anything on her, like, at all. I literally was like trying every single thing that I could possibly think of. Like I said, my mom's side of the family, for some reason, is just like, it seems like it's a lot easier. And maybe it's not that I even find so much specifically from her family, but it's like my mom's side of the family has the most common last name. So, like, or just the most common last names. Like, all of them are super common, whereas my dad's side of the family, in Polish, like, our last name, like, there's a handful of people that I could find, like, that had grave markers and stuff like that. I was like, this isn't very easy to find. Whereas, like, my mom, I have to sort through so much more stuff, which maybe is good, maybe it's not. But, like, I don't know. I always do more cross-referencing them with my mom's side of the family because I have to make sure that it matches up. With my dad's, I'm like, oh, there's, like, 3 people there, and, like, none of them are related to us or whatever. Or at least that we know of. Because, like I said, I can't go much further back than that. But I think we figured out it was like 18 something that we could trace my dad's side of the family back to, which isn't really bad. And like I said, we kind of went in there blind with no other information of anything else. Like no dates, no middle names, no middle initials. Like even that kind of stuff makes it a little bit easier to find. I had nothing, and we were still able to do that pretty far back. Was okay, with the exception of, like I said, that thing that my dad had saved, the census record. So other than that, I think we did pretty good today, guys, but I'm kind of getting exhausted from doing this, like, now 2 days in a row, and so I don't think I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know, but I still haven't done, like I said, my dad's mom's side of the family, or my grandpa's side of the family on my mom's side, which I think my grandpa already did that side. My grandpa actually came from Scotland, and he can track his, like, family tree all the way back to, who's the guy from Braveheart? You guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, we can actually trace our heritage all the way back there. And then also, I have my grandma's father's side of the family, which they're almost all buried to, like, the same thing in one cemetery, so it should be pretty easy to figure all them out. And my mom, for the most part, did a lot of that, but I just want to see if, from the information that we already have, if we can go even further back and, you know, see if we can actually see when they came over, like we kind of did with the one side of my grandma's family. So, like, that was kind of cool. But like I said, it was super hard to figure out, like, my dad's side and, like, again, anything, because, like I said, I need, like, for anybody to, like, even my dad's grandma, she also, it was kind of the same situation where, like, my dad's grandma's husband died, her first husband, and then she died after her second husband, but I don't have, like, a maiden name for her either, and so it was, like, difficult to find her, or, like, a lot of people, because, again, I don't have that base information kind of that I need to start looking for stuff. So my dad was like, well, I might be able to ask, like, his brother, because he has some information about their grandma, so that might be a little helpful. But anyways, though, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.